Well, we got a strengthening tropical storm, Erin, over the Atlantic Ocean tonight. Um, Based on a lot of the models I'm looking at, this thing could become a very powerful hurricane in the Western Atlantic in the next 4 or 5 days. Here's the latest AC advisory. Um, yeah, I mean, they went for 45 knots, but I expect strengthening as the environment is going to be very favorable, low shear, warmer waters, and it's going to become a powerful hurricane over the southwest Atlantic over this weekend. Um, it's moving west at 270 by 14 knots. And it's going to stay that way for the next few days before moving west northwestward from Thursday through the weekend due to steering from the subtropical high. They forecast 110 knots for the end of this forecast, and there is definitely some mild support for even stronger. Here's the forecast track. It turns it northwestward, north of the DR, but there is some support for even further west, like an icon, which is shocking. But most support remains turning it north of the DR. GFS and neighbors, some of them take it more westward. Um, we'll have to see. Um, yeah. Here's the attention models. Look at some of these models up here. Cat 4 models. There's definitely some support. This thing becomes a Cat 4, and there's actually some support for a Cat 5, and the 7 day period. Um, Here's the ECMWF for 24 hours. We also have a new system going to move into the Gulf of Mexico, which is 98L. Um, it has a 20% chance of formation. Um, but anyway, it's about ready to move into Yucatan. I mean, into the Bacon Beach. It should move northwestward towards northern Mexico, southern Texas. Not really expecting to strengthen, but there is some global model support for it to do something over the next few days, and we'll have to see. Here's the East If you had to have a velocity in the Gulf in 24 hours, and at 36 hours, it moves toward northern Mexico. GFS also supports this idea for 30 hours, 36 hours, getting close to landfall, 48 hours inland. Erin is moving, about ready to move north of the leewards at 48. 72, it's moving north of the leewards. ECMWF, let's go to 96. North of Puerto Rico at this point, you got a couple waves in near the Cape Verge. 108. Yep. CMC, man, the way these Mars load, GFS, everything's loading right now. Let's look at the HMON. We can just show you how strong these models are showing. Here's 126 hours, 940 millibars for the 18Z. But this is actually weak compared to some of the others. I mean, HWRF, 944 millibars. Let's go. Yep. Let's look at the HAFSA. 130 knots. I mean, it's potential. We could be looking at a strong Cat 4. This could become a very powerful hurricane. I do kind of an analog of this is Earl of 2010. I mean, definitely worth watching. I wish these models would load a little bit faster, but that's just the way it is. GFS. Let's go to region. North Atlantic. Got up to 90 hours right now. 963 millibars. Um, Icon, let's look at 120 hours. And this model actually takes it further to the west than most of the models. They're almost into the Bahamas. I'm kind of doubting it based on the setup, but if it does, I mean, we could see another Irene like situation where it just pulls and it does something like that. Actually, one of my analogs for the season is 2011. I mean, so it really wouldn't surprise me if we have an Irene. Uh, in fact, I kind of forecasted it in my seasonal. And we also have the system off the Cape Verde at 180 on the icon. Let's look at ECI AI. Uh, pretty far to the west too. CMC definitely only 42 hours. Let's look at the 18Z. Now 12Z is the latest. Let's go to 168. Definitely further to the east comparably. Got the system off Africa. I'm going to give it 20% at 8-9 days. Yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the GFS 18Z. Let's go to 144. 192. Yeah, pretty much. But hey, it could move further to the west to Zilzi. We'll have to see. Anyways, I agree with the NHC with the 20% for this system. We'll have to see if it can burst some convection. Irene will be a hurricane in about 60 hours. And we'll possibly have a Cat 4 in the Western Atlantic. We could have another system behind. I mean, not Irene, Jesus. I mean, Erin. Erin. We'll have to see if it becomes another Irene. I think it's possible. The next system behind it, coming off the Cape Verde, I'll give it off 20%. That's your tropical update.